Hey guys, today I'm going to do the LEGO set 75257 Millennium Falcon. This is of course the new version from episode 9. It has 1,351 pieces, was released in October 2019, and originally goes for $160. So first let's go over the minifigures. First up here is Lando Calrissian, who of course this is the older version of him from this film. He has the black and blue cape, which is cool, along with this kind of piece up here for the cape. His weapons is just a staff and with some studs on top, and this blaster with this piece that are usually used for tank treads, but I guess they use it to make the gun more like a bow blaster or something, kind of like Chewie's. But I really do like the detailings on it, along with what is on his shirt or his outfit in general, and not too much back printing, of course. We also have Chewbacca, who comes in a variety of sets. So this is just like a more expensive way. This is the kind of basic version of him with his bowcaster, which can shoot out a stud. Next is Finn, who this is a different hair for him, which I really like. I mean, the other version of his hair was fine. This is more grown out. We also have his face prints, which I didn't show off Billy D. Williams or Orlando's, but I'll show that. But this is mostly his here. Really do like how they did that, and of course he has a satchel and a blaster, which is about the same color as Lando's as well, and this is his hairpiece. And for Lando's, I mean, it's not much. It's just his face here, and if I can take this hairpiece off, which is the black version of the, I think Mr. Incredible's hair might be different, but yeah, it's kind of, you can at least not see that too well, the lighting, but yeah, it's just a different kind of face print with that. You also have Bulio, who I guess is a new character in the film. I like his molded head with the bright yellow horns. I really like how they did that. It makes him stand out more. Interesting kind of outfit, but in general, I don't know what this character is, but he looks interesting, to say the least, with his kind of lime green head, which I like that color use in minifigures. Next here is C-3PO, who I think looks pretty well. I mean, of course, is a version that's in a bunch of other sets, but of course, it's just another way to get him, because I guess he fits in with the Falcon. Nothing much. I wish they had side leg printing and side arm printing, because, you know, some versions have had that. R2-D2, who I've basically in a video a couple weeks ago, I already covered a minifigure of him in the Sith Infiltrator set. But this is just another version of R2, or the same version. And lastly is, I guess Dio is his name, a little droid. He comes in this and one other set. Just one mold, nothing much. I mean, you can kind of connect to studs on the top there. And of course, he's supposed to look like he's on just one wheel, kind of like BB-8. So here's the Falcon in all its glory. I think I'm already just going to start getting into the details of it. These front parts here, these, I don't know, I guess exhaust parts or something. Of course, you can shoot out missiles, one on each side. I'm not going to fully fire those out, but you can just push your finger through there, and that's kind of all you have to do. Same thing over here. And the missiles are pretty well hidden. They kind of look like what these are supposed to be. There's some studded room here, but there's nothing there. But the main thing, I might as well just already start taking this out. What I like about this panel in particular, when you're opening this entire thing up, all you have to do is push that down and just slide it. And we kind of guide it along, and you can open up these. These panels here just have more kind of general detailing. I'll show you more of those behind there in a second, but you can open these up. This is, of course, a satellite. You can kind of move around on a ball joint. You can kind of move it around a bit more. This is the entire inside. So you, of course, have the where you can play a game here and a bunch of couches and all that. Can't remember what the game is called, but I might have to look that up. You can have the characters move around. You can't have them sitting down when this is closed, but I mean, when you have it open, I'm sure it's fine. You can kind of have them stand around here. This is, of course, a swivel chair, which I have C-3PO kind of holding down on these two studs here, so that he doesn't this doesn't shake around too much. You also have like a computer panel there as well. You have room for weapons, where I put Lando's weapons. That's mostly what's here. I mean, in general, there's a lot of scraps in this set, but you kind of close that down. There are some gaps down there. I think I could have put more studs and stuff on top of here, but I think it looks fine. And in general, it is supposed to have more of a rugged look. This isn't too even, but again, this is a Millennium Falcon. It's not going to do that. There's also some detailing on the side, which of course makes it look more like a junky kind of ship like it is. Also some detailing up here, more exhaust ports. I'll show you the bottom and all the guns and stuff up later, but of course here's the back. The back here of course has more exhaust ports and a lot more engine detailing and just in general detailing to kind of fill up the back. Of course this is the main engines, which they use these kind of string like pieces, the more kind of staff like pieces. Of course there's more detailing of course on the sides. That's kind of what it looks like all around. I'll show you the cockpit in a couple minutes here. We can just open up this back. It is a bit more clamped down, but you just have to adjust that a bit to open it up, and I think that makes it look cool. Only 3 panels this time instead of like 9 or something like that. Not too much at the back, a lot of open room. You have 2 beds. This is where I put Chewie's weapon. This is the hyperdrive, which is just a sticker and a couple pieces there. You also have this tube, which I like how they use that. An empty crate, which you can kind of just put stuff in, and a little kitchen area, which looks really nice. I like how they did that, but again, they could have done more, but it's just a little kind of area. You also have the smuggler's compartment where you can kind of put like a minifigure. So I'm just going to take Bruce Banner here and kind of place him in. Probably have to put him in there more because this part there kind of guards it, but you can close that down. It looks pretty well done. You also have, of course, that's the hallway, and this is where you can enter the ship. You kind of have to push that down. That's the only way you can access that is just push it down. You can have, I guess, a figure or something come up through here, and you have to close that up. Up top here is the main turret, which you can spin around. You can kind of use the ball joint to kind of shoot it. They use these kind of ski pieces, which they've been using for guns for quite a bit. I like how they use them. Of course, you can use these 2 handles to kind of guide it. A little kind of window there, and you can open up this part, and it works pretty well. You can set 2 minifigures in here, which I won't, but that's kind of how you will do it. And you can slide that back in there. This, of course, will rattle around. You can kind of see my wall there, but it's kind of the main part. And this, of course, means that there's some stuff on the bottom, which on the bottom are how this will hold with the landing pads, and of course the missile on the bottom where you can kind of move it around on a ball joint, and that looks pretty well done, I think. But the bottom is kind of vacant. A lot of anti-studs. I think they could have fixed it up a bit more, but they didn't. But I honestly don't mind. Now, there are a couple gaps here, but I honestly don't mind about that because it looks like whatever. It's a Millennium Falcon. It's a very junky-ish ship, beloved ship. And also, I just want to mention, this is a very, very playable ship. I mean, you can't really have it upside down with the panels, but you can move it around sideways and it'll still be fine. But if you have it upside down for too long, this panel will start slowly kind of coming down. But probably my least favorite part of any Millennium Falcon has to be the cockpit, because they usually don't do these as well. I like how they did this hallway, where it doesn't move as well. And I like how they do the curves, but in general, I think they need to fix up the cockpit somehow. Like, when you take this out, it just doesn't really work. So, what I don't like is how Chewie and Lando, you have to really squeeze them in. They only fit into, like, 2 spaces. There's a joystick, which you really can't use too well, because I had to have one of them have their arms up and the other really down. I really like the control panel. One of them is a sticker, but it's very thin looking until you have the actual cockpit on. You actually have room for Dio back there, but I don't really put him in there because it's just a lot of room. I mean, you can do it. I'm just saying it's like not as hard. I kind of want to display him a bit. The only way you connect this is those 2 studs up there and one, and I mean just one stud down there. And this is a little 9-piece assembly. It's just cool pieces. These are actually printed pieces, which look really nice. I like how they did that. But you do have to make sure it's on, because Chewbacca's pretty tall and can kind of ruin that. I guess you can open that up, but you're not really supposed to. You can kind of see how they stuck that on together. Even though there are 1 or 2 things I don't like about the set, there's still a lot I do like. I mean, there are some gap problems, and they could fix up the cockpit here, but in general, I like this minifigure scale version of the Falcon. There's some good figures in here. Of course, they could have done better, but of course, this is probably more movie accurate. And in general, it's just a good build. I was expecting this to be a lot smaller. Maybe downsize the build of the Falcon, but it's a pretty fairly sized build. Thank you guys for watching this review, and bye guys.